everyone, and welcome to the Link Through Social podcast. My name is Paul Wright, and we're on episode number 23 today. And we have two guests, Chad Owen from Stimulus.io. He's going to be talking about how AI won't replace you, it makes the real experts harder to replace. Also, Jocelynn Flowers. She's the CEO and founder of J Flowers Marketing and can be found online at jflowersdigital.com. She'll be talking about how humanity wins, standing out online by simply being more of you. We also want to welcome a new sponsor to the program, TicketPortX.com. That's right, TicketPortX offers you a simple, hassle-free service ensuring that your event sells tickets to its full potential through exposure to thousands of potential customers. TicketPortX.com, event ticket marketplace, white label ticketing, custom wristbands, and lanyard printing, and so much more. Follow them on Instagram at TicketPortX and visit TicketPortX.com.
Introducing TicketPortX multi-day events. Hosting a festival, seminar, conference, tournament, or event series. No more manually sending tickets 24 hours later. No more scrambling to issue comps and catch up with attendees. With TicketPortX, everything happens in real time. Sell tickets for multiple events on one page. Create ticket packages across different dates. Manage entire event series from a single storefront. And spend less money marketing multiple links and event pages. One platform, one link, endless possibilities. TicketPortX, powering your brand, your events, and your growth.
And welcome back to the Link Through Social podcast. We have a special guest today, Chad Owen from Stimulus.io. Chad began his professional life working in the film and TV industry as a cinematographer and documentary filmmaker. 10 years ago, he decided to step out from behind the camera to exercise his storytelling and design thinking skills, working with large consumer brands to rapid prototype new services and products. Once AI exploded onto the scene with the launch of ChatGPT, he's been building an agentic operating system to help small business owners scale their expertise without growing a team. Chad, welcome to the Link Through Social podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. Chad, before we get started, perhaps you can give me a little bit more about your background and that I didn't touch on in the intro and how you got here today.
Yeah, it's been a fun journey from filmmaking into consulting and building products to where I am today, which is focused on helping business owners reimagine their businesses around AI so that we don't, get overtaken by this tsunami.
It definitely is a tsunami. It seems like we're talking about it pretty well every week here on the Link Through Social podcast. It's just just at such a rapid pace. It's quite unbelievable.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people think that AI is going to replace us. You argue the opposite, that it makes the real experts harder to place. Why is that?
I think there's a lot of fear around AI, and I'm trying to cut through that and really understand what it is and what it can do and what it can't do, to kind of combat my own fears around it.
Yeah.
But I think there's just like my creative background always is, yearning for like this belief that humans are truly unique and, that we have this genius inside of us that couldn't be replicated by a machine. And I think that's kind of the core of my thesis, that, AI will take commodity knowledge and commodity work and take that away, but the ability for creativity and deep reasoning, I think, are truly human faculties that machines, at least in the near term, I'd say 3 to 5 years, won't be able to replace. And like if you're a business owner operating kind of at the peak of your craft, I think that if you focus on your own unique ability and you can
Hmm.
help delegate what's not in that unique ability, you'll be able to adopt AI tools and give yourself superpowers instead of having it replace yourself.
Right, right. Now, what do you mean by an agentic operating system? How is this different from just using ChatGPT?
Sure. You've probably seen around the internet, like the levels of AI. And it's really just your familiarity with the tools and kind of how you're incorporating it into your day-to-day workflow or not. On one end, you have the ChatGPT chat interface where you're typing in a prompt. ChatGPT goes away and comes back with an answer. So it's text in and text out, and you're kind of stuck in that chat box.
Right.
All the way on the other end, you can create almost like an AI avatar of yourself that has a lot of your knowledge and context about who you are and what you do and how you work, the projects that you're working on, even down to the detailed playbooks of step by step. This is how I do my work, and those AI agents can operate and coordinate other AI agents to do work on your behalf. So that's kind of the ultimate level where there's an AI orchestrator that's, Mickey Mouse and Fantasia, that has all of the AI agents going and doing your work for you. And then there's a lot of range in between that. And what I love doing is taking people through that journey from just using ChatGPT all the way to really interesting and complex and fun systems of AI that help you operate and run your business.
Yeah, it's like we're re-educating everybody. I think that's because it's the Wild West out there with AI right now. It's changing every day, every second. And it's all about education, getting people to understand what AI can do for yourself personally or for your business. Now, what's the biggest mistake you see smart people make when they first bring AI into their business?
Yeah, I think I was working with a woman in British Columbia, and she thought that if she just gave all of her knowledge to AI, that it would spit back something, that it would like kind of learn her really well, and it would just spit back something
Ah,
that she could just kind of take and use. And I think that's the biggest mistake folks make is to think that you can send just one prompt or one piece of information to the AI or even ask it one question and get kind of the answer that you need or that the best answer for you.
now,
Collaborating with AI, I think, is really where you need to go instead of treating it like an answer machine or a vending machine,
yes.
and treat it much more like a thinking partner, and much more a back and forth working style.
Right, right. Now, your website is stimulus.io. Tell us about the site and what the viewers and listeners can find if they visit that site.
I'm always experimenting with AI tools, and one of the latest things I experimented with was my website. It's created to look like an agentic terminal where you're chatting
Yes.
with Claude Code, and I've given it some knowledge about who I am and what I do, and then also have hooked it up where if you answer a couple of questions, it'll actually ping me on my cell phone
Oh,
and say, "Hey,
really?
there's a user on your website. Would you be interested in chatting with them?" So I can interrupt and kind of start chatting with them. But
Yes.
it was something that I did in only like an hour and 90 minutes,
Wow.
and it's I just really want to encourage folks to pick a project that has been languishing on your to-do list for a long time. It's related, to knowledge work or working on the computer or a website or piece of content or marketing, any of those sorts of things that I think are really easily applicable with AI tools. And just set aside an afternoon or a lunch break, and see what you can do with it. And like I said, I think I was able to build the current site in about 60 or 90 minutes, just as an experiment to see what I could do. And so that's just really the focus of my consulting practice, is just
Right.
to help folks have fun again in their business,
Yes.
and use this new tool in a fun, invaluable way, not in a I don't know, not in a rote or unimaginative way.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I absolutely love the style. Like it's so unique, and what it was a great idea that you had, and like you said, it only took an hour and a half. I come from the generation where we would spend days and days and days creating websites and like through WordPress or even prior to that through coding and that type of thing. So it's just amazing what you can accomplish. So I definitely encourage everyone to go to stimulus.io. It's very cool, very unique, and I don't know. There's something that should everyone should be excited. They shouldn't be fearful,
Mhm.
and I think that's very very important. Now, how do you help someone find the one part of their business that should never be outsourced to AI?
Yeah, there's kind of like an appreciative interview process that I like to do. So in conversations not too dissimilar from what we're having now, where have business owners walk me through a day in the life of what they do.
Hmm.
Also, like, where are you really deflated, or frustrated in your business? And then, like, where do you come alive and where do you find joy in your business? And it's really about identifying, it's like, unfortunately, many business owners can't like step out of their business even for a day. Otherwise, the whole thing, they feel like it'll collapse. But
Oh yes,
I believe that every individual on this earth has a unique ability. And oftentimes that unique ability can be applied in work. Many times it isn't, but I think oftentimes it can be applied to work. And it's, where you feel like you can step into your work easily, you get into that flow state, and then 4 hours pass by and you're like, wait a minute, what was I doing? And you leave like with a smile on your face. That's the unique ability that I believe should never be outsourced. So
yes,
for a founder of a small business, it might be, your 20 years of experience prior to founding this business that gives you a unique perspective. And, it's probably an intersection of a couple of different avenues. So, if you spent a lot of time working on Wall Street and then somehow you found yourself, working as maybe a financial advisor to a tech startup, and was okay, well, now you have deep background in finance and you've worked with technology, so then that could be part of your unique ability, or your zone of genius is how other folks might describe it.
right,
So everything that's related to that thing, just don't delegate away. So all the other mundane activities and the things that kind of drain your energy, of
yes.
course you can work to delegate that, but your unique ability, I feel like, is something that everyone should protect with their lives, when it comes to
Absolutely.
AI.
Now, I mentioned off the top that you began your professional life as a cinematographer and documentary filmmaker. Um, for cinematographers and documentary filmmakers today, how could they implement AI as far as video is concerned?
Oh, there's so many applications. Again, I think people have misunderstanding and thinking like, oh, well, like I'll just give AI all of my footage and it'll like edit my my video for me. There's a lot of supportive tools, of course, like there's amazing transcription software, and even tools that can begin to stitch together things like rough cuts where like maybe it's not the final polished piece, but it can get you a few steps of the way there. But I think for creatives specifically, keeping the creative act to themselves and using AI for everything else is where I would start. So rather than try to directly apply it to your craft, and I think this is also related to anyone,
Yes.
instead of trying to apply it to your craft or your unique ability, look at all the other things first. So one of the things that I really struggled with when I was starting out was, I was a bright-eyed, bushy-tailed creative, but I didn't know how to run a business.
Right,
So
right, right.
all the things like tracking expenses and doing taxes, and even things like outreach and following up with proposals, all of those things I think are ways that you could leverage AI tools, save yourself a lot of time so that you can, be focused being out there, shooting your projects, or, hold up in the edit bay, editing your projects. Those would be the things, like the shooting and the editing are the things that I would use AI for last.
Yes, yes. Well, once again, your website is stimulus.io. And all our viewers and listeners out there, you can email Chad personally at heychad@gmail.com and answer the question, what's the one part of your business you wish ran without you? Are you also active on social media, Chad?
I'm not. I'm kind of one of those rare folks that abandoned social media in the early aughts
Yeah.
for a number of reasons. But yeah, the best way to get in touch with me is either through the website or my email. And yeah, would just love to know, what your unique ability is and what part of your business you wish ran without you.
Absolutely. Well, again, stimulus.io. I encourage everyone to check it out. It's very unique. You feel like you're on ChatGPT or one of these different AI platforms. It's very, very cool. And Chad, I appreciate you taking the time today, and I would love to have you on the show in the future because, as we say, it's changing very rapidly. Appreciate the time, and you have a wonderful day.
Thanks. Yeah, you've had some wonderful guests. Maybe we could do a panel show with multiple folks all
Oh,
talking
I
about
would.
it.
You know what? That's funny you should say that. I've been giving that some thought, and I think that would be wonderful. I'll definitely stay connected with you, and we'll keep in touch and try to put something together in the coming months.
Thanks. It was a pleasure.
Okay, Chad, that's stimulus.io, and the Link Through Social podcast will be back right after this short break.
Tired of stressing over what to post on social media? Meet Smart Post App, your all-in-one solution to create, schedule, and grow your content effortlessly. In just a few taps, you can generate engaging posts, stay consistent, and keep your audience coming back for more. No more guessing, no more burnout, just smarter content faster. Whether you're a business owner, creator, or entrepreneur, SmartPost offers both premium and pro plans. In addition, we have new features that have been recently added that include instantly viewing public links to your posts on any network, weekly view allowing you to plan hour by hour, account groups group your accounts to save time and simplify your workflow, and a desktop version which offers a simpler way to stay consistent. Start posting smarter today at smartpostapp.com. Smart Post App, because your content should work for you.
And welcome back to the Link Through Social podcast. We have a wonderful guest today, Jocelynn Flowers, and she's the founder and CEO of J Flowers Marketing, where she partners with coaches, authors, and service-based business owners who are ready to scale their businesses with intention, not just noise. Her work sits at the intersection of digital marketing, human connection, and sustainable growth, helping entrepreneurs expand their impact, deepen their relationships, and increase their income without losing the heart of why they started. Welcome to the show, Jocelynn.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited for our conversation.
My pleasure. Before we get started, possibly you can maybe give me a little bit about your background
Yeah,
and about your company.
absolutely. So I started kind of very early on in the workforce. A lot of my positions were in customer service, really having to interact with people from all different stature, demographics. And I think that really helped support me when I decided to make the big leap in creating and starting my business and my agency. And because overall, in all of those experiences and connections with people, I learned that I want to be able to help as many people as I can, whether that's through the work that I do in digital marketing or outside of that. I want to be able to leave a legacy of a positive impact on the world and be able to touch as many lives as I can. And this is just one avenue that I can do that is through my agency and being able to help coaches and authors and service-based business owners be able to put themselves out there in an authentic and true way for them that brings them in their ideal audience that they want to connect with.
That's wonderful. So your website is jflowersmarketing.com, and you can also be found on social media at j.flowersmarketing.
Yes.
Now, let's get started. So how is your approach to marketing unique? Like, is it unique compared to other digital marketers? Like, what makes you stand out from?
Yes.
Is there,
So
because there's a
one
lot of digital marketers out there. So what makes you
Absolutely.
stand out?
It's a dime a dozen out there, I like to say.
Yeah.
One of the things I think for me that sets me apart and that I always tell my clients as well is that there's only ever one you. So nobody out there is going to be just like you. No one's going to have the same approach, the same essence, the energy you're bringing to a room. So that is going to be your greatest differentiator across the plane in your industry and even outside of that. And so with my agency, we really have this human first and human forward focus in marketing because, again, that's what people are connecting to. That's what they're resonating with. They're going to hear a story that you share and go, oh, I've had something similar. I can connect to that. That's what they're going to connect to. That's ultimately where you're then going to build that trust and that rapport with them that makes them not even just a lifelong buyer, but also just a lifelong supporter of the work that you
Yes.
do and your mission that you're striving for. So that's something that we really take personally here, is making sure that we're bringing that human essence forward. Now, that's
Wonderful.
not saying we're against the evolution of AI and all these different softwares and systems because truly we need them in order to be able to get our message out there in a more efficient and maybe even faster way. But using them as a tool versus the only way forward. So that's kind of, I guess, what would differentiate us in the world of marketing these days.
Absolutely. I love it. It's storytelling. It's showing the mission of the company that or brand that's trying to get that message out to the clientele. And that's very important. And I'm glad that you're doing that at your marketing company. Now, you touched on AI and the impact that has had on marketing
Mhm.
over the last couple of years, and we talk about it every week. It's moving at the speed of light right now. It's
Yes.
changing day to day. And what have you incorporated in your business as far as using AI, utilizing it for different parts of your marketing?
Yeah, absolutely. So, a few ways that I incorporate AI is I use it as a research tool to where if I need to kind of get out of my head a little bit creatively and go, okay, I'm looking for inspiration, kind of a mood board around this topic for a client, it can then pull all of these things that I can take a look at and go, oh yeah, that's what I need. Oh, there's where I go. I also use it as a copywriting tool in the sense where I can have it be somewhat of my editor, and then I take another look at it as well. And I love how it always says, oh, well, you can add this in for a little personal flair, or you can add this in if you want to add in
Yes.
some more data points. So that's one of the areas that I use it, but also my CRM uses it, and being able to categorize all of the leads that come in and kind of what their characteristics are, which I wouldn't generally think to be categorizing some of the things that it pulls out. And I'm like, oh, well, that actually became helpful in my conversation with them. And so
Makes
those
sense.
are a few different ways that I use that. And sometimes I do it in content generation. If I really need something and I don't quite have it in my database of content already. But I use it as a tool versus the only generation forward. And so a lot of it is just coming from my story, and then, okay, how can I maybe polish this up a little bit and things like that. So that's how I'll incorporate AI in.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yes. So impact over income. You don't want to sacrifice your revenue, but how do you grow your business on your own terms?
Yes. So this is a question I get a lot because they're like, but don't you need income to come in if you're going to be getting clients and things like that? And
Yes.
yes, that's definitely a piece of it if you want to have a sustainable business. But I look for those entrepreneurs that are doing it for something more. They're not
Mm,
in it just for the money. Yes, obviously, they want to either have a secondary income that's coming in or be able to live a certain lifestyle and be able to sustain that, but they have a greater mission in mind that they're wanting to achieve, that this is just one little step to that. And
mhm.
so that's something that I look for, not only when I'm looking at businesses that I want to be able to either train and teach or even work with in my management services, because I can connect with that. I know because I grew this business because I knew I had hit that glass ceiling in all of the organizations that I had worked to prior, and I wanted to be able to help more people. I didn't know how I wanted to do it. I didn't know in what avenue I could do that in, but I knew that being in those organizations, I wasn't going to be able to have the opportunity to do that. And so that's one of the things I think as entrepreneurs is figure out what your true why is, not just the
Yes.
business answer, but what is the life answer that you want to that? What is your why of why you're choosing to show up every day? And that's
Hmm.
something that I also share through my socials and the resources and various things that I do through my content for my business is that there are days I'd rather stay in bed. There are days that,
I think
I'd
we
rather
all
not
have
even
those
look at a
days.
computer.
Yes.
But there's still something driving me forward, knowing that if I even spend an hour in front of my computer, I know I'm touching at least 10 lives within
Mm.
that hour of time. And that to me feels completely worth it, even if I have to, you know, psych myself up a little bit to be able to show up for that hour. I can do that. But also, that shows those that are in my audience that are attracted to how I approach things that oh, I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to be polished
Mm,
all the time.
that's
I
right.
can be real. I can be me. And that's where that, again, the human first approach comes out because nobody loves a fully polished brand where it's
Mm.
like, okay, that's unachievable. They want to be able to find those little pieces that, oh, okay, I have that same kind of feeling that they can resonate with.
Yes, it makes them feel comfortable. It's almost like you're on this journey together.
Yes,
It's
absolutely, absolutely.
definitely
And and
definitely.
and and touching on that, like bringing them into my story because my audience has been through it. I officially hit 10 years last week in my business, and it was
Congratulations.
a great celebration. And a lot of the feedback I was getting from people was, man, I saw you when you were at your lowest and you still kept
Yeah.
going. I saw
Hmm.
you when you were at your highest and you kept going. And now you're evolving with everything. And to have people be along the journey with me and know that, oh, it's because she has a bigger purpose out there, no matter whether it's going through the messy bits.
Mhm.
she's taking us with us and still showing us that we can be resilient, we can persevere, we can still get our message out there no matter what the circumstances are that come at us.
Absolutely, I love it. And we're both in the business, we'll say, and sometimes you have to shut off. You need that bit of time where you're not looking at your phone, your tablet, your
Mhm.
laptop, and you just got to shut everything down.
Yeah.
I had to do that a couple of days ago. I was getting a little burned out, and it's okay to do that. It's all
Yeah,
right, and
absolutely.
there's nothing wrong with it. And sometimes you, like I mentioned it right here on the podcast, and you share that because you're
Mhm.
showing that again, you're human. It's not normal to go 24/7,
No.
7 days a week. It's not healthy. It's not good for you.
Yes,
And it's okay. It's okay to take a little break, even though we're in this
absolutely.
type of business.
And that was something I learned very early on in my business because I took the leap. I got my certifications that I felt I needed to start my business. Um, they're not always needed, but for me, that gave me the kind of confidence to move forward with it. And I went from 5 clients to 30 clients within 30 in 3 months. And
Amazing.
I couldn't breathe. I was the only one in the business. I was working
Yes,
7 days a week. I was working 80 to 90 hours and I had no time for myself. So early on, I definitely learned how to create those boundaries and that balance that works for me.
yes,
Because I am a go-getter, I will always show up for others far more than I will show up for myself. And so
yeah,
that was the biggest learning curve in my business was okay, in order for me to be able to serve my clients and show up for them the way they need me, and even a little bit more than the way that they need me, I have to be able to fill up my own cup and kind of renew and refresh myself as well. And
sure.
so, one of those non negotiables that I started really early on was even though, as you know, the world of marketing is it is a 24/7 business, but
Yes,
I structured it in a very 9 to 5 way where I have an open time and I have a close time in my
right,
business, and it's Monday through Friday. And I was able to start training my clients kind of in that rhythm of it. So then they started going, oh, well, I'm working all these extra hours and I'm not filling up my cup. And so they started putting it into practice even for themselves.
right.
And again, you have to design it the way that works best for you and kind of your patterns of productivity and things like that. But that became a non-negotiable for me that my communications, I step away, whether I finish the task or not. I step away at my end time of the day because I know that I need that evening or those weekends to be able to really regroup. Because generally, when I come back the next day, I'm refreshed and my
Oh yeah,
creative genius is going nonstop. And so I know that would not happen if I didn't have those strict boundaries and balance in my personal and business life together.
absolutely. I feel what you're saying. You feel so rejuvenated. It's just like these
Yes,
creative juices are just flowing once you get a little bit of
absolutely.
a break. And
Yes.
everyone needs that for sure. So Jocelyn, your website is jflowersmarketing.com.
Yes.
Just give our viewers and listeners just a little preview of what they might find on there, and I encourage everyone to visit the site.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, first and foremost, I want to be able to help as many people as I can, whether that's through our free resources, free trainings. So what you'll find on our site is that it's going to be primarily free resources for you to be able to take away, implement immediately inside your business, whether it's related to marketing, it's related to systems and structure, because I'm also certified in systems and optimization as well. So all of these things that as entrepreneurs, we know it's on the list, but it generally falls lower and lower on the priority list. And so we've taken that out of your hands for you and been able to create these free resources. You're going to find a lot of that. You're also going to find a lot of insight into just how to connect with us. Because again, I want to be able to be accessible. And so that's why we are active a lot on all of our social media platforms. We have a regular email newsletter, which you'll see on there. So and then you have the small piece, which is the business structure and our managed services of how you can actually work with us if you want to do that. And we're just excited because, again, I want to be able to help people, whether they're just starting out or they've been in business for 20, 30 plus years, and they can gain value from our site. So that's really where it's focused in.
Wonderful, Jocelynn. So it's jflowersmarketing.com and on social at j.flowersmarketing. Encourage everyone to check that out. And I really appreciate you taking the time to join us here on the podcast. I love your analogies, and it was refreshing speaking to you.
It was a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
Okay, that's Jocelynn Flowers from jflowersmarketing.com. And the Link Through Social podcast will be back right after this short message.
You've worked hard to build your audience, so why send your customers somewhere else? Introducing white label digital storefronts from TicketPortX. Now you can process tickets, registrations, donations, merchandise sales, and collect valuable customer data directly on your website or custom landing page. Increase brand visibility, create a stronger connection with your customers, deliver a seamless user experience, and monetize your brand with high-converting pages powered by TicketPortX's secure hosting, payment processing, and event technology. Perfect for festivals, conventions, classes, retail storefronts, charity events, sporting events, and even free events. But that's not all. Introducing TicketPortX multi-day events. Hosting a festival, seminar, conference, tournament, or event series. No more manually sending tickets 24 hours later. No more scrambling to issue comps and catch up with attendees. With TicketPortX, everything happens in real time. Sell tickets for multiple events on one page. Create ticket packages across different dates. Manage entire event series from a single storefront. And spend less money marketing multiple links and event pages. One platform, one link, endless possibilities. TicketPortX, powering your brand, your events, and your growth.